ladies, my name is Patricia, also known as Godstyle1 here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. I am so excited to come to you guys today to review a very special new product from Maybelline, and it is the Blush Nudes palette. And that's what it looks like. This is the second edition of their whole nudes palette theme. They did come with the first one, which I didn't get, but my sister got, and she religiously uses it. So when they came out with the blush nudes, I was really excited about it because, you know, this whole rosy thing is very popular in the makeup world right now. Looked at it, I automatically thought of Urban Decay Naked 3. So I said, what an awesome video idea to bring to you guys. For those of you guys who skipped out on Urban Decay 3 and were wondering if this is a dupe, or if you have the Urban Decay Naked 3 and feel like, what, you know, do I need this? First of all, I just want to preface this video by saying I know I'm doing much right now. I know I'm doing much, but I'm actually doing a trial run of a wedding look. Part of my cousin's stylist makeup hair team, so I was just demoing the hair on myself. And yeah, and I figured I'd just go ahead and do it on the same day because I love the way that these rosy colors look with white. I mean, if you are a makeup artist, these type of colors look beautiful with white. So definitely great for bridal. Let's go ahead and talk about the palette in question, the newer palette, and that is the Blush Nudes palette by Maybelline. So 12 eyeshadows you get with this one. I'm now opening it up for you guys if I can get it open. Okay, so this is what the palette looks like. Alright, there's no mirror on this. However, it is very, very compact, very, very travel friendly. It's like a plasticky type of material, kind of cheap feeling, but I mean, you're not paying $54 for it, so that's okay. It did come with two applicators, which I can't locate right now. This palette only has one matte shade, and that color is right here, which would be kind of comparable to like Nooner. And let me make sure I'm not lying to y'all. It'd be more comparable to Limit in the Naked 3 palette. The rest are either satin or shimmery. However, some of these satin shades actually show up matte on the skin. So that'll be like this lightest shade right here shows up rather matte on the skin. And there's another shade that kind of shows up matte. This taupey color right here also shows up sort of matte on the skin. But at first glance, this is the only matte shade that you're gonna get out of this palette. Urban Decay has, I would say, 3 matte shades, and that would be Strange, Limit, and Nooner. All the satin and shimmer shades show up true even on the skin. Go ahead and do some swatches on my arm here with both the palettes side by side so you guys can see it. I didn't swatch the whole palette. I did want to reserve some colors to do live for you guys. So this is what, oh wait a minute, can you guys see it? I'm not too sure if you guys can see that really well, and sorry that it's a little bit crooked. Top row right here is the blush palette by Maybelline, and the bottom row right here is Urban Decay Naked 3. So I swatched from top to bottom, left to right on the Maybelline blush palette, and on the Naked 3 I just swatched from left to right. So you do see some similar shades in here, so let's go ahead and look at these palettes. That was just to give you guys a general look at the shadows. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off my arm because it's about to get everywhere in a minute. So let's go ahead and do some live swatches on the hand. And by the way, I did use a primer on my arm for these swatches here, but I'm gonna go ahead and wipe my hand off so there's no lotion or anything like that. One of my favorite colors in the Urban Decay palette, Naked 3 palette, is Trick. It's a very rosy, rosy, rosy gold. I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it on my finger right here, and then lay it on my hand so you guys can get a good look at that. So that is Trick. Okay, very, very pretty. I'm going to use a different finger and go in with the most similar shade in the palette. These of course don't have any names, so I'm just going to pick the shade that I feel is most similar and put it right next to it. Now I'm going to tell you off top, I'm having to really build this up in order for it to look as opaque as the Urban Decay one. I'm still building. That's it right there. Though I had to build it all the way up, I do want to note how similar the two colors are. Very, very similar. I would say that the Urban Decay one is just a tad bit more rosy. See, this one looks a little bit more pink and that one looks a little bit more beige. But it's very, very similar. Let's go ahead and try another color. One of my other favorite colors in the Urban Decay 3 palette is Black Heart. It's the blackest black with the rose specks in it. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of that and put it on my skin as well, and then take the comparable color from the blush palette and put it right next to it. I am having to build it up a little bit more, again, than the Urban Decay. Again, very similar, but this is the Urban Decay one right here. This is the blushed. This one is obviously a little bit more rosy. I don't know if you guys can see. This is a little less rosy of a black, but it's definitely one of my favorite colors. Very, very similar, but yet again, not exactly the same. Let's do it for one more color. Let's do it for Dust, because Dust is my color of choice for my highlight when I'm using the Naked 3 palette. So let's go ahead, hold on, let me get all this eyeshadow off. Let's go ahead and go into Dust. I'm only having to go in once for the Urban Decay. This is just once, okay? And then we're gonna go into the comparable color, and this is what it looks like right here. Maybelline, Urban Decay. This is very similar. You almost can't tell. I'm gonna just come out and say that there is not an exact comparable dupe for every shade in the Urban Decay 3 palette. As I was swatching from left to right, I did notice that it was very similar up here and through the top, but once we got toward the end here, in the middle here, it was like, it's different. There isn't a shade like this one or this one, these two right here in the Urban Decay. Not only that, I also don't find these two colors to be particularly rosy. Therefore, I kind of feel like they're misplaced in the palette a little bit. Not only that, I feel like they swatch very, very similar, especially on dark skin. This one being a little bit more taupe than this. However, it shows up very, very similar. So I didn't think that they need to put both of these shades in the palette, and I don't find them particularly rosy. Naked 3 palette, however, every color that is in this palette has a rosy tone to it. Every single last one. And I think we get more on the cooler taupey side too much with these two shades in particular and this one. Okay, this one definitely has a rosiness about it, so there's these two, but right in here, it's like, what's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? At the end of the day, the quality of these Urban Decay eyeshadows cannot be compared to these Maybelline ones. But you guys know that I love to find more affordable options, and I would say that this Maybelline, the blush palette, is definitely one. The quality isn't horrible, but it just looks really bad when you're comparing it to the Urban Decay. But compared to any other, drugstore eyeshadow palette, it's right around the same quality. I really like that Maybelline did this because they are mirroring, what some of the more expensive brands are doing and making it affordable for the average consumer. So if you decided to skip the Urban Decay Naked 3 because you weren't sure how your rosy tones would look on your skin tone, spending $10 to get this one isn't that much of a, a wallet breaker compared to spending $54. So I would definitely say to give this one a try. However, for those of you guys who already have the Naked 3 palette, this isn't necessary. One side of my face, I have the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, and on the other side of my face, I have the Maybelline The Blush Nude, is that what that is? Yeah, the Blush Nude palette. And can you guys tell which is which? Let's come a little bit closer. So can you guys tell which is which? Let's go from this side all the way to this side. I'm sorry, it's not perfect, guys. I was really rushing this morning because I wanted to get this video out and done. Can you tell the difference? Which is which? Do you know? So if you guessed that my right side was the Maybelline The Blush Nudes palette and that my left side was the Urban Decay, or my left and your right was the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, then you are correct. I'm really surprised how similar these products or these eyeshadows end up looking to each other once placed on my actual eyelids. I did use a primer, and I only used these palettes. I didn't use any other color to supplement, to blend, or anything like that. It was a very big difference between the left and the right side when it came to actually dealing with the shadows, especially when it came down to packing on color. As far as blendability, these shadows are really blendable. Definitely not as smooth even to the touch as these shadows, but definitely very, very easy to blend. But as far as packing on the colors, that's where it really became more evident that I wasn't dealing with Urban Decay on that particular eye, that I was dealing with the Maybelline the Blush Nudes palette. But I still stand by that I do think it's a really good option for those of you guys who aren't sure about the whole rosy gold thing and you want to try it, see how it works out for you. Then this palette is really good for that. Alright guys, that is it for my review on the blushed, what's the name of this thing? Alright guys, so that concludes my review of the Blush Nudes palette by Maybelline and comparison to the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have the Naked 3 and or the Blush Nudes palette, what do you think? How do you think they compare? Are you gonna go out and get this because you skipped on that one, or how do you feel about it? If you guys would like a tutorial on this look and to get a similar look, definitely hit up the description bar. I'll go ahead and leave a link to tutorial for this actual look. Some of the products are a little bit different. I think I used a different foundation. This time I use the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. So that's it guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are well and in good spirits whenever it is that this video meets you. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on my vlog channel. I'll be looking forward to see you guys over there as usual. All the links will be down in the description bar. I'll see you guys next time in another video, and as always, God bless.